Okay, it is going to take some time. Okay, so what is control structure?
Okay.
So as we have learned about algorithm and flowchart already,
Yeah, sure.
and we have seen that for doing any task we need to give some instructions to the computer, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So writing the instructions for the computer, there are some set of rules, set of languages are available, like we are learning C++ language. So control structure is in every language. You need to learn in C, C++ or Java or any high level languages, as we have discussed already about high level languages.
Okay.
Okay?
Sorry, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes,
You,
yes,
you,
sure.
you can record, eh? Yes, please
Yes, yes,
remember to
I'm
record, eh?
recording this. Yes, yes, I'm
Oh, thank you.
recording this one. So, what is control structure? So, as we have seen an algorithm to prepare or make tea, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We have seen the algorithm for make tea, and we also have seen the flow chart to give the instructions, right? So, what we need to do
Yeah.
for
Sure.
to prepare our tea? We need to go to the kitchen, then we need to have a cup or something like that, or we need our milk and water. Okay, so we need to boil water. So these are the steps which I need to take to prepare my tea or coffee, right?
Yeah, sure.
But these steps are written step by step, which means this will happen first, then the next one, then the next one, and step by step these all will happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
in but in real situation, these conditions, these steps will have so many ifs and ills, so many conditions will be there. Suppose I want to make tea, not for me, I want to make a tea, cup of tea for my, suppose, my father, right?
Okay.
So the first condition would be, if he likes tea, then I'll prepare tea for him. If he doesn't like tea, if he likes coffee, then I will prepare coffee for him, right?
Yeah, sure.
So in the same way, for giving instructions to the computer, there will be so many ifs and ills. There will be so many conditions on the basis of what the computer need to perform. Suppose I want to write a program to print prime number or even number or odd number. So the computer need to write the instructions. We need to write the instructions based on some conditions, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, the conclusion was, what I am trying to say is that we have three set of instructions. Only three, not more than that. The sequence
Okay.
structure, the selection structure, and the loop structure. We already have understand what is loop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure,
So the
ma'am.
selection structure, what is this? Every high level languages we need to write instructions, and these instructions are based on only these three types of.
Okay.
So let me start with the first. What is this all about? Control structure. All program processing can be coded by using only these three logic structures.
Okay.
The approach of using one or more of these basic control construct in programming is known as structured programming. Don't worry about anything right now. I'll explain each and every word one by one. So we have so many words new here, right? So the
Yeah.
first high level language which is very popular was C language, right?
Yeah, sure.
What C language support is structured language. It is a kind of structured language. What is structured language? We will explain. I will explain to you. C++ language, the second most popular language, support structure as well as OOPS concepts. What are all these? Let me
Okay.
explain you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So the first thing, what is structure programming? In structure programming, what we do is, suppose I have a task of addition, multiplication and division. Okay, I don't want to all these by my own. I want that my computer will perform these operations. Okay, so in structure programming, what we do is we will create different functions for different tasks. For addition, I will create an add function. For multiplication, I will add a multiplication method or function. What is
Okay.
function is all about, we are going to look in our next class, but for now you can think of a function as a block of code, as a simple task or a single task. So addition is also a task, right?
Yeah,
So for
sure.
that I will write a separate function. Multiplication is different task, so I will write a different function for this multiplication. Okay, so in structure programming, what we do is we divide our whole instructions or our program based on different functions,
Okay.
so it will be more readable and easy to understand.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am.
Yes, please.
These structures are they also variables?
Sorry, way.
The structures, the addition, subtraction, and so are they also variables?
No, they are not variables, they are called functions. We are going to have a separate class on based on function, all about function. For now you can think of a function is a small task,
Okay.
a small
Okay.
task. Okay,
Uh,
these are not variables.
Excuse me,
Yes, please.
why we take a function and program for what purpose?
Yes, I just have explained you to more readable and easy to understand. How it is easy to understand, we will look at this in our practical class. I will create a program based on a function and I will create the same program without using function. In that particular class you will have a more detail about why we use function or why we not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so as we are discussing that the whole instructions can be written using only these three. So what are all these three? We will cover object oriented in detail in our next classes. Okay, for now you can think of this is a second approach in which we
okay.
use class or object. What are all these we are going to cover, but for now you can think of this structured programming is a way to write our program using dividing the whole program into different functions. In the same way, object oriented programming use different concepts of class and object to create our program. So this is a second approach which C++ uses, and nowadays every high level languages use these concepts. This is very old one, so this is only in C language.
Okay.
Okay, so now the sequence structure, straight line. So when the instructions have no if, no else, no conditions, then this will be called as sequence structure. Like we have discussed about our tree preparation or
Yeah.
so this is just a simple step by step instructions, right? I need
Yeah.
some milk, I need some water, I need to boil water. So this is very 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 easy instructions. Each and every step is step by step. So this is will be under in the sequence structure, straight line. Every single step will be covered only and only if the first instructions has been completed.
All right.
So this is very very simple. When there will be no if, no condition, this will be called as sequence structure. Now the selection structure. As I was discussing, if I am going to prepare tea for my father, then what I can do, I just need to ask him, do you like to have coffee or do you like to have tea? So he will tell me one of these, right? So as you
Yeah,
can
sure.
see, there are two conditions. There will be two possibilities here. He can
Okay.
either choose coffee or he can either choose tea, right?
Yeah, sure.
So this is called as selection structure. Selection means we need to decide based on something. I am going to prepare coffee based on if he uses coffee, and I need to prepare tea if he choose tea as his favorite one, right? So we have a
Yeah.
basic conditions which have two possibilities. Same way, if I am going to use, I am going to write a program to check if it is an even number or odd number, right? So first
Yeah,
of all,
sure.
what I need to do is I need to divide this, whatever the number would be, I need to divide this by 2, right? And
Yeah,
if
sure.
the modulus, if the remainder is 0, which basically means it's an even number, otherwise it's an odd number, right? So here it's also we have two possibilities. It can be either 0 or it cannot be 0. Two
Zero.
possibilities are also here. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
when the when two possibilities will be there, this will be termed as selection structure. Now the last one, loop structure. So we have seen a algorithm, we have seen an algorithm to print hello world on the screen 10 times,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
how do we have performed this? Just writing print hello world 10 times. Instead of that, what we can use? Loop concept, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we already have seen what the loop structure is, what the loop is all about. It is repetition of code. So I need to print hello world on the screen 10 times. So the same task I need to perform 10 times, right? So this is a kind of repetitive task, right? So
Yeah, sure.
instead of doing the same task again and again and again, what I can do is I can use the loop.
Okay.
So the whole instructions of a program can be written only using these three. Okay, now let's cover this in more detail. What is sequence, what is selection, what is loop all about? So control structure is divided into selection, sequence and loop. So in the selection process, we have if else and switch. We are selecting something. Just like if he wants to eat, if he want to drink coffee, I will prepare coffee for him. So we are selecting something, based on that we are performing any task. In the loop we are going to do the same task again, and in that we have do while loop, for loop, while loop, all are they will be discussed in detail, don't worry about now. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
let's
sure.
start with the if statement. What is if?
Okay.
in general in general English language, when if is used. Suppose I need to go to shopping for shopping, right? But the first condition I will check if I have money, then I
I will
can only go
check.
for shopping, right? If I don't
Yeah,
have money, I'll not go for shopping,
yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah,
So
sure.
in the same way, when we are going to write some instructions for the computer, if we need to decide any condition, based on the any condition we need to perform any task, then there we are going to use this if. And the syntax was something will be look like this: if expression is true. What is expression? We are going to explain this in a great detail in later lectures, but for now you can think of this: if the condition is true, then this action will be performed, otherwise this action won't perform. So same way, if I want to drink tea, I will go for preparing tea, otherwise I'm not going to prepare for tea.
Okay.
So now let's open our dev C++ and write some program based on this if statement. Okay.
Okay.
So here we have our dev C++. So in the last class we have seen the cout and cin statement. You have
Yeah.
some doubts, I'll clear this first of all, and then we will move to our if statement.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to use my new source file, and we have learned how to start our program. Okay, so now I'm going to use my if statement in this my program. Suppose I'm going
Ma'am,
to write a
please zoom
program
the
to,
screen.
this will be a program.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Please zoom the screen.
Okay, okay. Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, now it's clear.
So this will be a program to print even or odd number, or let's suppose only for even number for now. So we have just learned about the if statement. The syntax was something like this: if condition, whatever the condition would be. For now, just write the syntax how it would look like. If condition is equals to true, which basically means here we have applied double equal, right? In
Yeah.
general, what is this single equal and it this double equal? This double equal is used in our conditions,
Okay.
and this single equal is used in assignment, or you can say initialization of variables. We already have seen this one, right?
Yeah.
Suppose
Yeah.
I am going to declare a variable int age, so I am going to use this single variable, right? Single double equal to sign. So this will do what? It will just suppose I am giving here 4, so this 4 will be initialized with age.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's write a program to print even number. So first of all, I want what the all program will be look like. First statement would say or print user to enter a number. Okay. So first of all, what I need to do, I need to print a message on the screen that user please enter a number, whether I can check if it is an even number or not. In the second statement, what I want is input a number and store this number into a variable called num. Okay.
Okay.
And in the third step, I need to have some logic to check even number. So in general, how do we check for even number? We just divide it by 2, right? So I
Yeah.
already have explained the difference between this single division and this modulus operator. What is operator? Don't worry about that. But this division returns the division and this modulus operator return the remainder. Okay. So for checking even number, we need to check the remainder of the division, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we are going to use this one. Okay, so after writing the logic, I need to print it is an even or not. Even number or not. Okay.
All right. Yeah, sure.
So printing something, what we use?
See out.
Yes, cout and then the followed by insertion operator. This is an insertion operator. Okay, and then you can in the double quote mark you can have your message what you want to print on the screen. So I
Yeah.
want to ask a user, please enter a number,
Okay. Okay.
and then the semicolon denotes the end of this statement.
What do you call it?
Sorry,
I didn't hear what you call that.
this one is called as
Yeah, sure.
semicolon.
I didn't hear what it's used for.
No. In C++ programming language, after completing each and every statement, we need to have this semicolon. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah,
now
sure.
in the second, I want a variable called num, right? So I
Yeah,
will
sure.
declare a variable, and what is variable? I already have
Yeah.
explained. So for now, I'm just going to declare this, not initialize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I hope you are understanding what is declare and initialization means, right? Because I already have
Yeah, sure.
explained this.
Yeah. I can get that.
Yeah. So declaring means just to declare a variable. So this is just a declaration of variable. But if I am declaring a second variable and going to have some already value, default value you can say, so this will be termed as declaration as well as initialization. I am giving some value to this variable. So this will be termed as initialization.
Excuse
So
me,
I
ma'am.
am just going to declare a variable because I need a number from the user. Right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, the initialization of a variable will be constant, or we can change it.
No. Variable means which values can be changed later. Okay. So I am just suppose I am giving a declaring a variable number 1 and have just initialized with some values 40. So for now it will have 40, but later on our program we can change this.
Okay.
So
It
variable is
means
basically means which changes its values always.
that the variable of first value and second value will be replaced on first value.
Yes. What exactly happened? I will let me just explain in a short explanation. Whenever suppose I am going to declare a variable int num, okay? So
Yes.
whenever I write this statement, what exactly will see in our computer? There are some memory spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever we are declaring some integer, what is this? This is data type.
Yes.
What type of data we are going to store, we need to have defined this, right? And
Yeah.
this is nothing but a name of a memory location. So whenever I declare this num, so a separate memory location will be allotted and the name of this location will be num. So for the first time when I write num is equals to 40, so this will be placed here 40. In the second time when I'll write 50, so what will exactly happen? This will just replace 40 with 50. So the same memory location will be, but the value will be replaced by the previous one.
Okay.
Okay, so where we are? So here, so we have just declared a variable, not have initialized this. For getting input from the user, what we use? Cin followed by what this operator says.
Sorry, ma'am.
So Cin followed by the operator, and this is the I will write this num here. Okay, so what exactly will happen? Whatever the value user will enter, that value will be stored into this num variable. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
now what I need to check, I need to have some logic, right? In real life, what we do to check if number modulus operator 2 is equals to 0. So what
Okay.
this will check, let me explain here. Okay, so in real life, how do we check a number is even number or not? Suppose user has entered some value called 22, okay, and I need to check whether it is an even number or not. So how will I check that? So I will take this number, divide it by 2. So here, if the remainder is 0, then it will be an even number, right? Suppose take a
Yeah.
different example, 23. So as you can see here, the remainder is not equals to 0. It has the value of 1. So it is not an even number.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And in our keyboard, there are two symbols, division and this modulus operator. This is called as modulus operator.
Okay.
What this all does, if I apply this division operator, then this will return as a result. So we have here, and if I will use this symbol, this will return the remainder as a result. Okay, so for even number check we need to have this remainder, right?
Yeah, sure.
So now I am going to use this modulus operator here. As you can see, if number mod 2 is equals to 0, which basically means it is an even number. So what I need to do next, in the next statement I need to use print it as even or not. Okay, so I'm going to print cout it is an even number.
Oh, sorry, apologies, ma'am. I want to ask
Yeah, sure.
something.
Yes, yes,
The
please.
after the if now, after the if, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
brought out the they had those two things, the red ones, those two reds.
Yes,
Why?
yes. Let me explain. Let me explain. What is this?
Okay,
We have learned about scope. Do you remember? What is
it's
scope?
scope.
I have
I
explained this in a little, I maybe in the second or third class. Scope.
yeah. Sure. You'd explained it.
Yeah. So what is scope? Whenever we declare some functions, let's say add or multiplication, so whatever a set of statement based on some conditions, based on some call, this is nothing but scope. So if condition, if, and here we have our condition, so on the basis of this condition this scope will execute, otherwise this set of instructions will not execute. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. I
so
understand now.
that's why whenever this type of scope is there, we are going to use this open curly braces. This is termed as open curly braces, and this is termed as closing curly braces. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I get that now. Thank you.
Okay, so where we are, so we have just used the same as that. So if the condition will become true, this will print it is an even number. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
but is there only we need to print this even? No, we also need to tell the user that this is not an even number, right? So
Yeah.
if I take the example of previous one, if my father wants to drink tea, I will go to prepare tea. If my father wants to have some coffee, then I'll prepare coffee for him, right? In the same way, if the number is an even number, I will print the even number, it is an even number. If it is not an even number, I need to print that this is not an even number, right?
Yeah, sure.
So how do I do that? We are going to use if and else. We have just learned about if. If condition became true, then the set of instructions will be performed. Otherwise, this statement will not be performed anymore. But
Okay.
in real scenario, we also have else. Else means if this will verify if this is okay for you, perform this task. If this is not okay for you, perform some other task. Just like if my father want to drink tea, I will prepare tea for him, right? If he
Yeah.
doesn't like tea, then I will prepare coffee for him.
Yeah, sure.
So in the same way, if it is an even number, I am going to print even number. If it is not, then I am going to use this apply else. So what is the syntax of this is else? At the end of if, suppose if num mod 2 is equals to 0, then I am going to print cout this is an even number.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, I am going to say the user that this is not an even number. So for that, what can I use? I can use else.
Else. Okay.
And this is also followed by a open curly and close curly braces. So here I will write cout. This is even number, not an even number.
This.
Okay.
Sure.
So in same way as we use in our real life scenario, in the same way we are going to write instructions for the that's why we have this if and else. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say is all about.
Very well, madam. I can hear you. You can remove.
Okay, so now let's our run else statement followed by our open and closing curly braces.
Okay.
Again, cout, it is
This is an even
not
number.
an even number.
Okay.
and end the statement with a semicolon. Now let's run this program and see the output. So for that, what we need to do, first of all, we need to compile this. And compiling means is basically converting the program into machine code. But before that, we need to save this program. So even number. So it will take some time to compile.
Okay.
Yeah, compilation result error 0. It's compiled successfully, which basically means the program has been converted to machine code. And now we can give these instructions to our computer, because computer can only understand machine code.
We're not on it.
Okay, so please enter a number. Let's suppose I am going to give 63 or 633. No, 63. It is not an even number. You can see the output
Okay.
is correct. Let's run this one more time, and this time I will enter some even number. 20. Okay, it is an even number.
Yeah, sure.
So I hope this if and else will be very clear for all of you guys.
Okay.
And
Hello.
now we
What is?
can.
Hello.
Yes, please.
What if is a series of let's say there are several like rounded say numbers or they are mixed, like we have
No, 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 no,
even
no.
numbers and at the same time.
No, no.
Happen?
No. Even number, integer number has some.
No, I'm saying like take an
Mhm.
example. Maybe they were in the in an array. Like we have a number like two even numbers or four even numbers, and the rest are odd numbers. Then you want to use it you want to execute. You want to run and know that these even numbers and these one odd numbers. The
Okay,
example
so
you're
what
giving is
you.
for just one. Yes.
So you are trying to say that suppose I have taken a long number, right?
Yeah,
Like
you're
2, 2,
supposed to have
3,
a long
4.
array. You have an array of numbers, any.
I haven't explained array yet, but let's suppose this is a number which I am
Okay,
going to
okay.
give
So
the
you are considering
computer.
one. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm thinking maybe I've got. I thought you are covering once. So I wanted to understand what if the numbers
Yes,
we have
yes,
a list
yes,
of
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, let me explain. Suppose this is
Okay.
my house and this is your house, right? So in
Okay.
my house, as you can see there, this is very small, right? So only, let's suppose 5 people can live here, right?
Okay.
But your house is a large one, so approx 10 to 15 people can live here, right?
Yeah, sure.
In the same way, we have data types: int, float, double, string. So many data types are there, right? So every data type has some restrictions, have some space, more maximum space, you can say.
Okay.
So the integer value cannot take this as a number. As for string, we have learned that string can only take one word at a time, right? We have
Yeah,
learned this in our last class, right?
yeah,
If
sure.
my name is Khushbu Kumari, then it will only take Khushbu, not Kumari, because it can take one word at a time, right? In the same way, integer has some boundaries. Integer has some maximum space which can it cover. So it can only cover 4 bytes. What
Okay.
is 4 bytes? What is 4 bytes? I will explain later, but for now you can think of this as the maximum number would be 999 for now. Let's take an example. Only 4 digit numbers. Maximum.
Okay. 4.
Okay, but it depends on computer to computer. If your computer is 16 bit, then it can only contain 32. So this will be will be more understandable to you when I'll cover some basic concept before. So for now you can see the integer data type has some boundaries, okay? Just like my house, it can only have 5 members in my house. So integer has in the same way have some boundaries. So we cannot take this long number for now, okay?
Yeah, sure.
So that's why we are considering here very small numbers of 2
Okay.
digit or 3 digit only.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So the switch statement I will cover it later point. For now we can go for, yes, we can go for the looping statement. Okay. So do you remember, have you remembered we have write an algorithm to print hello world 10 times,
Yes.
and we also have drawn the flow chart.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we already have covered the algorithm and the flow chart. So how was the algorithm was? First of all we need to start, then
Yeah.
we need to,
Oh no, initialize.
yes,
Initialize count
initialize 0.
equals to 0. Yes.
In the next
Then
statement we need to print, okay, no,
print.
no, 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 no.
No, no, no.
If
If
if count
counts
is less than 10,
and
only then we need to print
then print.
hello world. In the next what we need to do, count is equals to
Count
count
plus.
plus 1, and in the next we need to go to statement. I already have explained this one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Go to
Well,
statement 2, or you can say go to step 3,
yeah.
and in the last one we need to print, we need to exit from the loop.
Yeah, stop.
Okay, and we also have drawn the flow chart. How was it was? So for that we need to have this start, then this
Okay.
arrow symbol to initialize. What we use to initialize?
Initialize counts equals to 0. Okay,
Count
the
is equals to 0. Is this rectangle used?
yeah, yeah,
Process.
equals
Because I don't remember, you need to tell
process.
me, okay?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
process. Yeah.
Process. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so next step we need to check for conditions which have two possibilities, yes or no. So what we
Yeah,
use? We use this if
yeah.
count is less
0.
than 0, then there will be yes conditions or no, right? So
Yeah,
in the
sure.
yes, what I need to do?
You go back to 2. If it is less than 10,
We
is
need to
it?
print hello world something, right?
No.
Let me explain this.
Forgotten.
I think you have forgotten this one, just like me.
No, we need to like go to count. We need to go back to
You
count.
just output. If yes, you just output. See how.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So we
it's
have
like
hello world output, and then if it is less than, print hello world, and then count is equals to count plus 1 in the same box I'm going to use, okay?
Jesus. Yes.
If it is less than yes, then again I need to go for this statement. If again check, again this will be repetitive task, right? And
Yeah,
in the
sure.
last we need to stop this one. So
Yeah,
Excuse
this
me,
sure.
is
ma'am.
how we have our flow algorithm and flow chart. In the same way we are going to write our program to print
Excuse
hello
me, ma'am.
world 10 times.
Hello.
Sorry, yes please.
Ma'am, count plus 1, is it looper?
No, count plus is, it is a process, you may say. It is a some kind of small task, some time of small process. Count is equals to count plus 1. So the main motive
Or just
of our,
you can just make him, maybe he wants to count is equals to count plus, you get count plus plus.
yes, we can do that, but for now, as we are beginner, we don't know what is this all about. Okay, so we will
Okay,
have a
okay.
look on increment on decrement operator later, but for now you can use something like this one.
Okay.
Okay, was to print task was to print hello was to print hello was to print hello was to print hello world 10 times on the screen.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
okay, now I'm going to explain about for loop.
Okay.
So what is the syntax first of all? So the
Syntax.
syntax means basically the way however we'll write. Suppose I am using English language, so I am going to write I am good. So how do I write this? I am good, right? I cannot write like this. I am a OODG. Is it right? No, this one
No.
not, and this one correct, right? So you can say this is the syntax of English language, right? The
Yeah,
way
sure.
how we write, the way how we write is termed as syntax. Okay, so in the
Yeah.
same way, when we are going to use programming language as C++, we have some predefined syntax. For using for loop, there will also be a syntax. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's first of all see the what will be the syntax. So we need to have this for. This is as a keyword. What is keyword? I will explain later sessions. For now you can see that this is a reserved word. This is a predefined word in C++. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So first of all I need to write this for loop, and I need to have this middle bracket, opening and closing. Okay.
Okay.
And here we have expression 1, then semicolon, and expression 2, and then expression 3 separated with this one.
This is
Okay,
getting that. Yeah.
so this is just the syntax.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for print hello world, what we have done, we have declared one variable called count and initialized with 0, right?
Yeah, sure.
And after printing hello world on the screen, what we have done, we have just incremented the value of count. Count is equals to count plus 1, right?
Yeah, sure.
And in the next statement, what we have tested, if count is less than 10, then we are going to follow the again the same step. Print hello world, then again increment the value of count, then again. So this will be something like this. So first we need to count is equals to 0. If condition, then if count is less than 10, then we are going to print, right? And after printing, I am going to increment the value of count. Count is
Yeah.
equals to count plus 1, and again I am going to check for the condition. So this is the process of looping, right? We are
Yeah.
doing this again and again based on a single condition. If it becomes false, when the count value will be 10, so 10 is not less than 10, right? So
Yeah.
when 10 is not less than 10, then this step will not be followed, this step will not be followed, this will just exit from here, right?
Yeah, sure.
So we are going to do the same here using for loop. In the for loop, the first one would be initialization or declaration of variable.
Okay.
Declaration and initialization of variable. Okay, and in expression 2 we have some conditions. Just like here we have our condition if count is less than 0, right?
Yeah.
In the expression 3 we have some increment or maybe decrement values. So for now you can think of this as increment only, but it can also be decrement the value. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have seen each. This is expression 2, this is expression 1. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so now let's perform this algorithm using our for loop. Have you write this one, or you can just note down in your copy? Or
We've written it down, actually. We've written it down.
okay, okay, now let's start. So for the first thing what I need to do, I need to have a count variable and initialize with 0, right? So in expression what we do, we do the same task, initialization and declaration. So I will write something like this. For it is of integer type, so I will write integer count. This is just the declaration of variable. Now I'm going to initialize with 0. Here we have done with 0, right? So my first expression is completed successfully. Okay, and now in the second step what do? We just
Put the condition.
apply the first first the declaration, then we have just tested our condition. So this condition will be in expression 2. So what is our condition? If count, so I will just write count is less than 10. Here we don't apply if, okay, because for loop is basically a combination of 3 statements.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we do not need to apply the if condition. If count is less than 10, so now the second statement is also completed. In the next one what we need to have? This one. So I will just write the same as it is. Count is equals to count plus 1. Okay, and
Yeah.
again we have our scope of statements. Here we can perform any task. This task will only perform until this condition will become true.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what do we need to print? We just need to print hello world on the screen, right? So
Yeah.
in this scope I need to have only one task.
Okay.
Cout print hello world. Okay, we don't need to write this print, actually we just need to have hello world. Okay,
Okay.
so now let's trial run this program. How this program will run at runtime, we are going to see that. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
sorry.
Actually, sorry, ma'am. I think we are missing. I think we are missing a step because one we had after we had sum equals to 0. Then we have input number. So
There we are going to have some value to sum, right? Then that's why we have declared a variable called sum.
okay.
But here we do not need to sum any values. We just need to print hello world 10 times.
Okay, yeah, I get
So
it, ma'am.
here we do not have need this sum variable. So for
Okay,
this, let's suppose the computer is going to run this program. So how the program will run, we are going to see that. Okay. So the first
yeah,
thing was it will look for this 4. Okay. So the compiler will understand, okay, so this is a 4 keyword, this is a keyword. Okay. And what is
okay,
keyword I will explain later to you, but for now you can see that the compiler will understand, okay, so if it has 4, which basically means there will be some repetitive task, right?
okay, yeah,
So the compiler will understand that. And the states, let's suppose in the next statement what we have, int count is equals to 0. So what will happen in our memory, a separate memory location will be declared, and this location will be called as count, right? The
yeah,
name of this location will be count, and it is going to initialize with 0. Okay, I have initialized this one. Now it is going to check the second statement. First statement will be checked for first time. Okay.
yeah.
Now the second, count is less than 10. Is it less than 10?
No.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It is just 0. So it is less than 10. Okay. So after checking the condition, what we have done in our flow chart, after checking the condition, if count is less than 10, what we have done? We have just
Hello
printed the
world will be
hello
print.
world, right?
yeah.
Yes.
So in the same way, in for loop, after checking the conditions, it will just enter into this scope. And whatever the statements will be there, this will execute these all. So for now, it has only one statement, right?
Yeah.
So first thing, this will run first, this will run second, and after that, this will run the statements inside this block.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the, let me explain, expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And these are some set of statements. So for the first time, this one will run, this will it declare on initialize something. After that, the condition will be verified. If the condition becomes true, only then this will enter into inside this block, and whatever
Oh,
the statements will be here, this will all be executed.
okay.
Okay. And after, suppose I have executed all of this state, curly braces are here, so it will end here. No, it is
Okay.
not going to end here. We need to define this hello world or print hello world 10 times, right?
Yeah.
So when this will come to here, it will again go to this statement, expression 3.
Okay.
And after so for now, count is equals to count plus 1. So for first time, it will just, if it, the condition becomes true, right, 0 is less than 10, so it will print hello world on the screen.
Okay.
Now this statement has been executed, no more statements are here, so it will just come to here, and from here it will again go to here. Count is equals to count plus 1, so it will become 1,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah,
So
sure.
after this, again this statement will execute. This condition will become, if it became true, this statement will again run. So count value is 1. 1 is less than 10? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So
Is it?
again it is going to print hello world. Okay? So
Okay.
from
Yeah.
here it will again go to here. Count is equals to count plus 1. So for this time it will become 2. Right?
Yeah.
After incrementing the value, it is again going to check the condition. If count is less than 0, yes it is. 2 is less than 0, right? So
Yeah,
it is
sure.
again going to enter inside this block. So it is again going to print hello world.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think it will be complicated for now, but after doing 1 or 2 programs it will be very clear to you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma. Because it
Okay.
seems quite. Yeah, sure.
uh, so you just need to have some basic idea how the for loop is going to execute. Okay.
Okay.
So the first thing will be this one, this expression 1 will be executed, right? In the next
Yeah.
statement the condition will be checked. If the condition becomes true, then these statements inside this block will be executed.
Okay.
After executing all the statements, this is going to step 3. So here we have expression 1. Expression 1 will be executed first, then expression 2, then the statements will be executed, and then expression 3 will be done. So after
Okay.
expression 3 it is again going to check the condition, and if
Okay.
the condition again becomes true, this will again going to execute.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
So you can do some research on for loop as well by your own, and I will explain a basic program to print 1 to 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 in the next class.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I will
I'm
just
going to print this using for loop.
look. Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to print hello see out 1, see out 2, see out 3. I can do the same, right?
Yeah. Sure.
I can just write here as see out 1, see out 2,
Sure.
see out 3. This can continue like see out 10.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to do something like this. I'm going to use my for loop to print this.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, ma'am. About the selection structure.
Yes, structure, right.
Yeah, the selection structure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, does it have like if you want to work it on C++ 2, does it have any way we are going to do it, or it's just like the straight line? No?
No, these sequence structure are just like simple task which is not going to have any based on any conditions. It is not
Okay.
going to based on any condition. Not based on any conditions. This is
Okay.
just the simple step, simple task. Suppose I am just want to read a book. Read
Yeah.
a book. So what kind of this task is? This is simple sequence structure task. I am going to read page number 1 first, then after that I will read page number 2, then after page number 3, right? So
Yeah.
after completing the first one, I am going to start with the second one, then the third one, right? So this
Yeah.
is step by step. No if, no else, nothing repetitive, nothing. So these are
Okay.
the simple steps.
Okay. Okay. I get that. I will
Okay.
practice. Yeah. Sure.